What's going on, you guys? It's Coach Taylor here, back with the Taylor Training Podcast, where we'll discuss any and everything related to health and wellness. Do you feel me? Do you hear me? Right now we are outside, so excuse me if you hear nature calling. But today I want to discuss mind, body, and spirit alignment, right? I often tell my clients when we're training, if you can control your breath, you can control the exercise, right? And this morning, while I was, stretching, doing my yoga, doing my meditation, I got this, this train of thought, which I equate now to what people have been calling a download, right? So, I want to break down like what I consider to be mind, body, and spirit, right? So, spirit is our breath, body is our vessel, of course, and then our mind is our thought, our train of thought. So while I was stretching, I was putting myself into the Frogger position, right? And the Frogger position is not the easiest position for anybody. So you literally have to turn your feet out while your hips, your knees, and ankles stay in alignment. You're trying to get your to fillet yourself while you have your arms either extended or you're down on your forearms. So the further down you go, the deeper you get into the stretch. So I was in that position and I feel my hip on my right side, which is my stroke side, starting to tense up, right? So I immediately tell myself, okay, you gotta breathe, right? Because yoga is a form of meditation. Tai Chi is a form of meditation. It's just adding movement to it. So as I feel my hip tensing up, I'm like, okay, I gotta breathe. Mentally, so that's the thought. So I take a deep breath and then I slowly start to feel my right leg loosen up, my right hip start to loosen up, and then I'm starting to feel my leg, my body to go down further, my hips, my pelvis to go down further to the floor. So my pubic area is starting to go down further to the floor, waistline. Very uncomfortable position, okay, if you ask me. pretty sure if you ask anybody, it's a very uncomfortable position. So a lot of times, a lot of my clients that I've come into contact with, does not matter the race, does not matter the gender. A lot of people in general have some level of difficulty with being able to control their breathing while doing, whether it be stretching or exercises. And when we really look at our lives as well, right, it all crosses. It all ends up being on the same playing field, the same experience regardless. So if you encounter a stressful situation in life, whether it be work, finances, whether it be, food related, your child related, children related, being able, or miscommunication or disagreement that you may have with somebody, an encounter, depending on how you are able to breathe, depends on how that situation ends up going. So if you're not able to control your breathing, I'm gonna put it in a positive way. So if you're able to control your breathing, you can control the situation. You'll be better off with controlling the outcome of the situation, right? When we're able to breathe. This is why I think breathing techniques should be taught at an early age, whether it be at home or implementing it into the school systems. I think this is why a lot of other countries do better are doing better in different aspects outside of what the U.S. is really good at bringing to the table. So especially with like health, I'm gonna say health, in relations to health, in my opinion, I think other countries do better than the U.S. And I think that's why they ban so many chemicals and so many things in their food, because they are more conscious and more connected mind, body, and spirit wise. So if we are able to improve our ability to deal with high level stress situations, then we make better choices, right? It all relates to one another. We're able to improve our ability to deal with high stressful situations. We have the ability to unlock our movement. This is one thing that I'm noticing with where I'm at as a stroke survivor. I'm starting to, ever since I've been on this plane going by. Ever since I've been on this journey with, implementing yoga, meditation, and all of these different things, changing the way I eat, changing my mindset, the way I think, just these different aspects, I've been able to unlock certain movement in my body. I'm able to relax more in my shoulder. I kid you not, y'all. Like, I got so excited because I was able to put my hand on my hip. Now, granted, I don't have the neuromuscular function to do it, but just to be able to place my hand, my right hand, on my hip is a huge accomplishment for me, because again, I've dealt with spasticity my entire life, so my body hasn't been that responsive to passive movement, right? To assisted movement. So I haven't, I could take my left hand and try to place my right hand on my hip back in the day, and it wouldn't do it, but now I can. And that is like one of the greatest feelings in the world. I can put my hand behind my back and not feel like something's about to break my shoulder. It's not as painful. I can pull my right leg back to my butt and do a quad stretch without it feeling like it's about to, like my knee is about to rip out of the joint, out of the socket. So I've been able to access these different movements. I can turn and rotate my torso in a certain way now, because I've been able to access my body with being able to control my breathing and being able to connect my mind with my body, right? And I think breath work is the missing piece, because I hear trainers talk about it all the time in regards to it's a mind-body connection. Mind-body connection when you want to get a good pump and you're trying to activate your muscles and you're trying to get them to grow and stuff like that. They talk a lot about mind-body mind-body connection when it comes to the movement. But if you're not breathing, if you can't breathe, if you're not able to relax in a high stressful situation, that movement, it is going to happen, but it's not going to be as effective and efficient for someone who is able to breathe. And then with that, right, we unlock the ability to transmute our thought into action, right? Like, I'm talking in terms of movement, I'm talking in terms of fitness, but we can take this and apply it to our life, because again, everything is literally the same thing. Everything is literally the image of itself. Oh my God, I got so many bugs on my bag now. So being able to transmute that thought into action now carries over into life. And for me, this is like a huge revelation, because I'm like, dang, Ish, you really, you know, when it comes to fitness and stuff like that, you really got it down pat. But when it comes to other aspects in your life, you ain't doing too well, right? So now I'm starting to get it, right? It's starting to click for me. And again, with all of this being established, if we can control our breathing and get our mind and our body to connect through breath work, we now can establish a pathway for our body to be able to heal itself in so many different ways. Again, I alluded to the fact that we make better decisions when we're calm, when we're cool and collected, right? When you agitated and you anxious and you don't know which way to go, you don't know what to do, you just your mind is just everywhere. ADHD, you know, these different things. Don't too many good things come from that aspect, from that mind frame, from that thought process, that thinking. And it's so crazy that all of this came from, you know, just stretching, right? And then I feel like I'm free, right? You free, if you free your mind, you free your body, and you can connect it through breath work. You free yourself. You're no longer a slave to your thought, to other people's thoughts and reality, because now you are a free thinker. You have the ability to have a thought and be able to put it into action for yourself, instead of having someone else be able to think for you, or feeling like you have to have somebody think for you, like you don't know what you want to do or need to do. So I no longer, like, I'm free. I feel like knowing this, and I'm not trying to get emotional right now. I just felt like my spirit, like, I'm about to cry. But I no longer feel like a slave to my vessel. I no longer feel like a slave to this world now that I know this. And I just now established this morning, you know, but now I have to constantly and continuously remind myself of this, so I don't slip back into, I feel like, what people consider the matrix, you know. And that's what it is. Like, if there are other people out here wanting to control how people think, what people do, in order to make it a benefit for themselves, if we don't have free thinkers in this world anymore, and we only have we only have one person making all the decisions that benefit them instead of benefiting the whole, that's why so many things are in place. That's why, you know, and I'm not trying to get too deep into this right now, but I feel like that's how this world and a lot of the US is set up, is to control how people think. That's, yeah. I'm not trying to get too deep into it. And then the other thing that I realized, so after I did my yoga, I did my stretching, I drank some tea, right? And like yesterday, I even kind of picked up on this because I had bought some incense, and I was smelling them. And typically I buy like 8 different ones, right? Because they smell like really good to me. But I only bought 2 different scents this time, because I'm like, that don't smell the same. that don't smell the same. And I'm like, it don't smell as good to me as it used to. So now with this, my smell is different, my taste is different, and I realized this when I drank my tea, because I've been drinking this tea or these teas for a while now, and I just now was able to pick up that I did like a blend of 4 different teas though, but I was able to pick up a peppermint taste that's in one of the teas, and I've been drinking this tea for a long time. So I'm like, wait, what? And the same thing has been happening to me because I do an oil pull with coconut oil, and typically when I put it in my mouth, I don't taste the coconut flavor, right? Until I stop doing shallow breaths and I actually have to take a deep inhale, because your mouth is closed. My mouth is full with coconut oil, so I had to breathe through my nose. So with me doing that, I take a deep breath now, right? And then in that moment, I'm able to taste the coconut smell. Able to taste the coconut taste in the coconut oil. So I'm done ranting and raving about this, but I think this is important, whether it be implemented in the school systems, but I definitely think this should be implemented early on in our lives, as much as possible. And I think this is why, that's why a lot of countries are doing so well in regards to their health. And, they're like over in China, there's literally an island of people who live to be a century. It's not unheard of. It's not out of the blue. When we have somebody over here in the U.S. turn 100 or 100 years old, it's like, oh my God, what? And then it dawns on me that Social Security the age just now changed to 67, but the retirement age is 65, right? And the way Social Security is really set up is it really hopes that we don't make it to that age to be able to use Social Security. Or if we do make it to that age, we die off like maybe a few years afterward. So, yeah, that's my spew. But I think mind, body, and spirit alignment is desperately needed in the U.S. for us to be a better nation, to just be better people overall and in general. But yeah, it's Coach Taylor here signing off with Taylor Training Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram, is where we are most active, and you can give us a follow or search us at Tailored Training, TAYLORD TRAINING. You can email us at tailoredtrainingllc@gmail.com, and you can check our website out at tailoredtrainingcoaching.com. All right, peace, love, and blessings. As always, everything is motivation.